Hello, could you please tell me, am I audible or not? Okay, Vishnu, thank you. So, shall we start? Okay, Ajit, thank you. Yes, agree. So, yesterday, not yesterday, day before yesterday, we just ran a simple application, a simple uh, a thing in Django, right? So, till now, Django showed its own page. Okay, now Django is going to show our own page, our page. What we designed, it will show that. Yesterday, it's just a congratulation and saying that Django has successfully installed, right? That's all thing which we done. So I have a question for you. Um, can one Django project have multiple features, or a single Django project will consist only just one feature? What is your thought on that? Please comment in the chat. I'll ask you once again. Uh, can one Django project have multiple features or not? Okay, the answer is yes. Uh, no one is interested in questions, I think. So in Django, each feature lives inside something called an app, right? So what is a Django app? So a Django app is a small focus part of a project that does one job well. Okay, maybe. Okay, leave that. A Django app is a small focus part of a project. It's a small focus part of a project and it does one job very well. Okay, so examples of app in a big project, there will be a lot of apps. There will be one project and there will be a lot of app inside that project. So as maybe a users can be considered as an app. If you are creating a shopping cart, of course, a product will be an app, orders will be another app, a blog can be another app, payment can be another app, account can be and be some other app. So there will be a lot of apps in one project itself. Okay. So when you uh, consider this as the project as a big shopping mall and an app as an individual shop. A big shopping mall consists of lot of individual shop, right? That's the same here also. A single Django project will consist of a lot of app inside it. So each app is having one responsibility. There is some difference between a project and an app. We haven't yet created an app, but we created a project, right? A day before yesterday. So the entire website can be considered as a project. In that website, one feature can be considered as an app. Okay. Similarly, the total project configuration will be in the project itself. The app will be having its own functionalities. Okay. Then a project will be created only once, but inside that there is an n number of apps can be created. So project hold the apps. Okay, apps don't work it's of itself. It is under the project. Okay, now we'll create a app. So please code along with me and share my screen. My screen is visible or not? Could you please tell me? This is the same as we did a day before yesterday in the same project. So if you're out of this VS Code, please get into that and activate your virtual and VNV and get into the folder where manage.py exists. That is, if you type ls or Windows, some other command in there, you have to see the manage.py here. Could you see my screen? First of all, please confirm that. Okay. Okay. So we are going to create a app. So creating an app, Python manage.py start app, and we can name the app. I'm just naming it as core. Okay, and I click enter. Python 3 start app. Okay, now it's created, And you can see in the left side, there is a folder named core. Okay. Inside that, there are migration. I'll talk about it. This, what this means. Anybody who, could you please tell me what this means? That init underscore underscore init underscore underscore dot py. Anyone? If you could say that in 10 seconds, and if you could share your mobile number, I'll give you a 50 rupees cashback. Take 10 seconds, just 10 seconds. What is underscore init underscore underscore dot py means? The package, something little more clear. I don't want this answer. Okay, anyway, that 10 seconds is over. So after something related to that, it means it's a Python package. That's the only thing it means. Wherever you see this underscore underscore init underscore underscore dot py, it just means that folder can be used as and created as a Python package. Okay. Okay, coming back to our code, the Python mana.py is just a Django remote control as we discussed earlier. And startup is the command for creating an app, and core is just a name, simple and generic name, which I give. Now coming to the folder structure, you can see here, other than migration folder and the init.py, there is an admin.py, uh, apps, models, test, views.py. Just look into that. Now, views.py is the most important thing today. This file contains Python function that handles request. Okay, we are writing a lot of Python functions, and all the Python, maybe Python functions or class. There are two type of views actually. Function-based views will be there, and class-based views will be there. Mostly in the more then we used interchangeably. That means some use function and some use class, and the single person use class and a view, function based in according to the needs actually. If you are using function, we'll get some more control in our code. That is personally which I think about that. So class based views can also be used frequently. For today's lesson, we are not getting into class based views. Just we are just looking into function based views only. So anyway, views.py is the file that contain Python function that handles request. Okay. So if Django thinks anything, it's thinking inside views.py. All right. When coming to model.py, this is the file. This file defines the database structure. Okay, whatever database is there in our project, it will be designed from here. We'll use this later. Basis. So admin.py means this file helps us to manage data using Django admin. What Django admin is not familiar to you till now, we'll also see that today itself. It's a later topic, so don't be stressful on that. Test.py is used for testing code, so ignore it for now. Okay, it's totally fine. And the register thing, that is, while we are creating an app, we have to register that thing. Okay, so we just created an app, but Django does not know does it exist or not. So we have to create that thing. So for registering that thing, we have to get into settings.py. So here you can see installed apps. These are all default app which Django created itself. The first app which we create is the core, right? So we just core and just a comma. This is just a Python list, as you all know, I think. So we have to add this thing in the installed apps. Whenever we are creating an app, we have to register it here in the settings where the installed app is. All right. So if an app is not in or not in this install underscore app, Django just ignore that thing. Okay. So you have to write the Python code now in views.py. So I'll get into views.py. This thing is already existing there. from Django dot HTTP import HTTP response. This is array which is giving me. I'm just creating a function named home and there will be a request. Okay, it's all coming. I'm not using this thing. The render is something other. The HTTP, this HTTP response is just a Python class. I think you all know Python class, and we are just importing that thing here, and we are creating an object on it of it. Right. HTTP response, hello world, we are at the core form. Just use that thing itself. So here the HTTP response means it sends a response to the browser, and form name is a function name, whatever name you can give to that, and the request means a request from the browser. So as we saw yesterday, when a browser hit a URL link, it will reach the Django's URL link, and from the Django URL, it will route to the views. So here that means for dev form, if a request comes, whatever code will be below it will be get run. All right. So the return text will be shown in the browser. So now we have to map this URL. Okay, this may be little confusing for beginners. So if view cannot be accessed unless it is connected to an URL. Okay, so what is the actual what is it? The flow will be like browser is using a URL, and the URL will, when URL is hit from the browser, it will get into Django's url.py, and from there it is routed to view, and the response will be sent back. So now we have to please make sure I say this one more time. Whenever the browser is hit a URL, and that URL will get into urls.py in Django, and from there it will be routed to the corresponding view, and from the view it will get a response. In this case, we are giving a response like hello world, you are at the core home. All right. So where is the URL? There will be two type of urls.py. One should be in the main project folder itself. So we have to get into the urls.py, and this thing is already there. I will get into this thing. And the first thing is we have to import it from the views. From for import views. Right. I'm just giving path. Oh, it's already giving everything. Okay. So this path means path which I entered. I'm not giving anything in that. Just a blank, right? Just a what is it? Just two commas, right? It means it's a root URL. That means before, and there is nothing we have entered other than the website address. Nothing, no slashes or anything. It will just come to the root folder. So this is the root URL, not your root folder, root URL. Okay. Then what it will do? Here we have set to uh, send it to the views.com. Okay. So we have already created a function in view named form, and we have written a code there. Okay. So it will get that response. So URLs are just road signs. All right. And views are the destination. So when a browser hit URL, Django checks url.py, and it call the correct view, and the view is sent to the response. Now we can check that. So now our project is running, and just click here. So the default Django page disappeared and we are seeing hello world. You are at the core home, which we have returned the view that is here. If we change this, I all always we can go doing. It will automatically get changed. Okay. So have you, any one of you got this output along with me? Please comment in the chat. Otherwise, I have to put the copy paste the code in the chat. That's why I'm asking. Shahid, okay. What about others? Got it. Yes. What about just three of you? Anyway, I'll put the code here. So this is the main use.py. Don't paste this thing. Okay. Create your use here. It is not needed. Rest of it. And the urs.py, you have to import the core thing and create a new path. Okay, I'm doing that. Vishwanath, please check the messages. So these two files is enough. And the other you have to know. That means python manual.py space run server is the command used to run our project, right? Okay, I'll give you just 2 minutes. Please finish that. Quick. Just 2 minutes, okay? You have to now you do one thing, just copy paste and run that thing. Don't try to type everything. So once again, HTTP response is to just get the plain text or raw HTML. And there is some render other thing also. We'll get into that. And the views does not contain HTML. It's just Python code. Okay. So some of you might not be getting. There will be some common errors like you might have forgot to register the app You might have wrongly imported in urs.py. That could be a common mistake. There could be indentation errors and servers might not be restarted perfectly. So check all these things if you're not getting. And of course, errors are part of learning. Okay. So we just learned what an app is. We created a Django app. We registered the app. We created our first view. We connected to URL to view and saw our own response in browser. So Django is under your control. All right. So now we'll get into Django templates. So till now Django is talking to us using plain text, right? Real website won't work like that. So real website show only text like hello world, not right. So to show real web pages, Django uses something called templates. So for that, HTTP response is not enough for rendering this thing. This is just for fine learning, but not for real website because there is no HTML structure, no design, no reuse, and it's hard to maintain things. We can compare this. There are two type of things like HTTP response and rendering. And rendering is for template, and the HTTP response is just for passing some text. All right, like sending some WhatsApp message. So what is a template? Do you have any idea regarding what template is? I hope you all have just an idea regarding what HTML is, right? At least basics of HTML. Okay, in Django templates is an HTML file that can display dynamic data. Okay, Libby. Templates are mostly HTML with small Django instructions in it. So where do templates live? Actually, Django has a folder structure for that structure where we have to put the template and it will be fine if you are putting it in the right way. So we have to tell Django where templates are. Okay, so inside your core app, right, you can create a folder named templates. Please make sure that the name is exactly the same. Of course, we can change this thing, but then we have to change this in some other place in settings also. Some other file will also have to be edited. So we can follow the same pattern with minimal edits. So for that thing, we have to create the folder name and templates itself. Okay, please don't change the name. And after in the templates, we can create the HTML file. I'm just creating form.html. So each app have its own template. Now we have only just one app named core. So we are creating one template. If you are creating another app, also we can create another template inside that also. So inside this home.html, we write HTML. Django. Create a page. This is and go let's we close the body. And I hope you all know what this thing is, right? This HTML thing. So if anyone, I put this in chat. Just copy paste this thing. So now we have to change the view also. So we will use just comment this thing. Yeah, this one.html. So here render means the complete template plus data. Okay, that is the thing what renders do. Home HTML is the name of the file which we created, and Django return HTML response automatically. Right. The renders prepare HTML and sends it to the browser. That is a purpose and usage of render. So now what what we see now is from the HTML template and not from the just file. Okay, this is a pure HTML. Whatever we, if you are very much interested in HTML, you can change a lot of things there, and the page will be more attractive. So you can do it for yourself if you know HTML very well or CSS everything very well. You can do that. CSS, JavaScript, HTML. You can create nice web pages here. All right. So I will copy this thing also. So you just rendered your first Django HTML page. So how Django found the HTML template? Django searched for template inside app folders, and the app is registered inside the installed apps in the settings, right? So Django automatically check templates folder. Okay. So you don't need to configure everything extra. You have to just create a folder named exactly the HTML, templates inside the app folder, and inside that template, inside that folder, you have to create all the HTML file needed for that app. So static HTML is not enough, right? We have to show always dynamic data, right? So for that, we have to make changes a little, and we have to create some context. All right. So HTML page, everything has to be changed. Here, we create a variable name context, and this is automatically giving everything. Okay. So, okay, I change this thing. New name, Django, use This is the dictionary format. I think you all know what dictionary is. Now, along with this HTML, we have to pass the context also. So context is a dictionary. It consists of keys and values, and the key will be the variable name, and the values will be the actual data. Okay. So we'll go back to the home.html, and instead of this, we can comment this also. Welcome. I'll explain this thing. The same name which we give there, that is the key. So this double curly braces is for printing variable, and it's now Python code in a template. Okay. So this double curly braces means to display a value. Okay, please understand this thing. Double curly braces means to display a value. So everything is fine. So welcome this Django student, and this last thing, this Django came from views. That means this context. Here we created a context and we passed that context to the home.html and it is rendered. All right. Along with home.html, we are passing the context and the context will reach here. And while we are using double curly braces, whatever whatever the key in the context is there, it will be displayed here. Okay, we have to just call the key and the value will be displayed. How to comment all at once? Just Control A, and while you are using Windows, Control key plus question mark key. And why, if you are using Mac, Command key plus question mark key. It will work everywhere, whether it in Python, Django, HTML, everything. I am putting the code now. Please copy paste this thing. Make it fast, okay? I think 1 minute is more than enough for this. So just 1 minute. It's 7:35:36 we'll start. So the flow is a request comes and view prepares the data, the template receives the data, and HTML is rendered, and the response is sent back to the browser. Make sure that there won't be any Python logic in templates. Templates only display data and database. accessing templates, and view handle the logic. Okay. If you have any issue, please make sure that your template file name is correct and the folder structure is correct. That means inside the core or whatever name you have given for your app, inside that folder, you have to create a folder named templates itself. Okay. And if you try not to forget to restart your server, and if you're getting any error, there'll be a chance of misspelled variable names. You might have said name there and here some other in template. So the context, name or course, it must be same in the template also. Okay, so we learned why templates are needed, how to create templates, and how Django is rendering the HTML, and how to pass data from view to template. So now we can build small real web pages. So till now our templates could only display simple data, right? That means, but real website repeat data, hide data, they might format data. So like if you have 10 students, would you write HTML 10 times? No, right? So this is where exactly there is a thing called Django, sorry, template language. Django gives a template language. It's named Django template language. So Django template language allows us to add HTML logic, sorry, logic inside HTML. That's the right thing. Django template language allows us to add logic inside HTML without writing Python code. All right. So Django template machine is not language is not Python. It's much simpler than Python. It must having a HTML body and there will be some other code to control its behavior. So there are two symbols you have to um, look into. The one is this thing. That means the double curly braces. This thing. This is for displaying data, as I said earlier. And the other thing is this thing. That means there'll be a person sign inside the curly braces. This is for logical thing. We'll get into that. So double curly braces means is to just to display data, and the other thing is to write the logic. So what are variables? In the previous example, as we said, the name, a course, etc. Variables display sent from the view. All right. Variables will display the data sent from the view. So the welcome name, you are learning this course, that's are all variable. It will just show the value. Okay. Sometimes data is correct, but formatting may be wrong. So there are so many things in Django for that. So you can learn it yourself. Using pipe operator, there are some name upper, name lower, name length, such things are there. So please learn it that yourself. So there are loops and if condition also in this HTML part also. So we'll look into that. So in this view, we'll create. We remove this. Students. Oh, it's giving the suggestion always. Okay. Then in the HTML, we write a logic for student in students will display each student as a list. Like here the variable student. We will close that list. And one important thing is that you have to close the for loop also. That is a strange thing to than Python. So for that, we need the for. We will close the UL also. Okay. For here, the for student is students is just a loopy statement. Uh, exact almost similar to the Python for loop itself. So student is just one item at a time, and the end for means the loop ends here. All right. So yeah, please make sure that for every for loop, it must end with an end for. Okay. So there will be, of course, if condition can also be used in other. So we'll just check whether it is working. So that thing that now what we have done is we have passed in context some student names here. Okay, as context we have passed this thing. That means a dictionary. The key is student and value consists of a list. Okay, then the same thing have went into this template and we have created a for loop for displaying each student at once. Okay, so we created a for loop that means for student is students in curly braces with person symbol, and for just variable we are using just two curly braces, and inside that we are putting this student is coming here just like a for loop, and the main thing is that we have to end that for loop, and then the data will be displayed one after the other. Okay, I'll just give you this code also. This thing. You better learn HTML little more. Okay, there is nothing, no big thing in that. Once again, it's just 2 minutes needed. It's 4:44 now. We'll start 7:46. We can uh, use for if loop, if condition like this, like for use instead of this thing. I'm just creating a symbol, just is log in, just a thing, and just is logged in, and I'm giving the value now true. Okay, just a simple thing. Is logged in is the value, is the key, and true is the value. Okay, that's the only thing which I do. And in form.html, I'll create a if condition. For every logic, we have to use percentage along with the curly braces. All right. So if is underscore similar to Python, else what is on error. We have to end the end if. Okay, this is the logic. Let's see what's happening. Here it is showing welcome back. Just because this if is logged in is true. All right. So if it is false, actually this is not the right thing. Actually, we are not in the real case, we are not doing like this. We have to fetch the real values. Please log in. Okay, I hope you understood this. So make it fast. Okay, please make it fast. Just 1 minute. It's for 50, 750. We will start from 51. So here, if is a condition and else is optional, like the same in Python, and if is a must thing, and you have to close that condition. You can combine if for and if needed. Okay. So in templates, there won't be any database queries. There won't be any complex calculation. There won't be any business logic. Okay, make it clear. It consists just a display of things. It's mainly of display of things. Okay. So the display data, the for loop, the if condition, the formatting of data, it will be all happening in the template. So what we learned is we have just went through what a Django template language is and what variables and Oh no, we didn't look into filters. You have to look into yourself. So what variables are and what for loop is, if condition, this all thing we are just checked, right? So now our templates are little dynamic in nature. It's not just static thing. So I'm okay. So we'll move into the next part, that is models. Okay, till now our data was temporary, right? If the server is refreshed and the data is gone. So it's not in the real case scenario. So where does Amazon or some other web application store their products or data? Please tell me. In real web application, where will the server store their data? Does they use variables? Anyone? Okay. They'll use database, right? Okay. So in Django, we talk to database using something called model. Okay. So what is a database? Anyone? What is a database? A database is a place where data is stored permanently. All right. All the things. If you are for a website, there will be a lot of users. That users data will be stored. Product details will be stored. Student details will be stored. Orders in case of some shopping cart. All the things are stored. Images. Images it's not directly stored exactly what you think of, uh, but it's also stored in database. So what is a model? So in Django, a model is a Python class. Once again, a model is a Python class that represents a table in the database. It is representing, showing relationship. I don't know for what you put that answer for. Okay, a relationship, something related to database. So a model is a Python class that represent table in database. Yeah, model can show relationship also. So model is just like a table and there will be object in it and object can be considered as a row. So model is just like a form design and database rows are filled with these forms. So why Django models? There is a important thing you have to learn. In Django, most of the time you don't have to write the SQL queries. We just have to create a class and we have to work on that class. And then Django will create table for us. It will communicate with the database in the form of queries and it will give the exact output which we needed. We have to just write code only. We have to just write pure Python code in our file and the Django will do the thing that it will convert our Python code into a table and you can fetch data from the delete data, update data, create data, everything can be done through this code. We just have to create a model and after that, after executing that thing, our Django will be an intermediate to between us and the database and it will create table for us. Not only table, it will do anything in SQL in database for us. We don't have to write explicitly the database queries. Okay, that thing is called ORM. That means the object relational mapper. Okay, this is an important thing in Django. So it will write SQL. We don't have to write SQL manually. We don't have to handle connection. We don't have to convert rows into object. Django will do everything for us. Okay, we have to just write Python classes and it will do everything for us. So coming back to the project structure, So here you can see models.py, right? Inside core, you can see models.py here, right? So here is where we are going to create our Django models, right? So class, hmm, okay, student. It is giving me suggestion. So I'm taking that. So here integer, or instead of role, I'll give age, and instead of city, you can give course. So here we have inherited models.model. Uh, there are other already inbuilt classes in Django which take care of everything. We are just giving the student name, the name of the table which we want, and these are all the fields which we are creating. That means the rows. Okay, so there is a field called name, age, and course. This is what type of data it have to be. Char field means it must be a character and the max length is 100. It can be up to 255. Okay. If it is beyond 255, we can use other field called text field. You can practice it yourself. Okay. Integer field means we are restricting it to integer only. All right. This is again a okay. This max length is equal to 100. Then we have to just we are creating. Okay, it's giving me everything. This is just to run and get the name. Have you know about the Dunter method or magic method? What this means? Anyone? Anyone know? Dunter method, magic method? Okay, leave that. So here, a model is the base class, and char field is regarding related to text, and integer field related to number, and the max length is just for validation purpose. This STR thing is to just a readable name in admin. We'll get into that what admin is. So this class does not store data yet. All right. It only describes the structure. So we have to do an important thing called migration. So for that, before that, have you ever, any one of you noticed this thing? You have 18 unapplied migration. I'm just checking whether I am muted or not. Um, have you anyone checked this thing? You have 18 unapplied migration, your project not work properly and something. Anyone? Okay, leave that. So we are now going to do an important thing, that is we are making some migration. This migration will of course affect the database. Okay, make migration is the command. Migrations. So what happened now? Inside the core migration, a new file is created. So in core, in migration, a new file is created. Please don't delete or edit this thing. If you do anything to this, it will be a big disaster for you. Okay, so don't play with these things. So this is just after migrate after we are just giving the make migration command, structure will again will be created. Okay, still now there is no data. Sorry, the database is not touched yet. Okay, it's just getting a structure. For creating data inside the database, we have to again migrate. There is another command name manage.py migrate. Now all the migrations are applied. Till now, there are a lot of migration to be applied. That 18 plus the new one which we created. That 18 is which Django has already created and not migrated. Okay, this is the thing. The student thing is which we created and not migrated. So we did all of that thing. After this, Python manual.py migrations, it will create a structure of what model which we created earlier, that means student. And after the Python manual.py space migrate, it will migrate all those things. That is including this file. Okay. So now there is a database. A table is created in database. A database is, of course, previously there is a db.sqli database. So there, a new table is created now. So, do you want this comment? Sorry, this thing. Please copy paste this and run this command. Python .py migration. First thing, then Python .py migrate. After these two things, you will get the table inside your database. Now there is an important thing called Django admin. That this is one of the best feature of Django, which Fast API or class does not have. So that means, have you ever noticed this thing url.py? While we are calling a URL, that means in the default case it will be port number 8000 and /admin. There will be a page created by Django itself. So that is this admin means. Yes, for getting into that admin, you have to create a user. So for creating a user, Python manual.py create super user. Create super user is the command. It will ask for some credential. I'm just giving admin. Okay, sorry. Admin, admin. Just press yes. Now the super user is created successfully. For checking that, run server. So here 8000. If this is root URL, right? Is running, and while we are giving admin, it will get into here. Just admin. So this is Django admin. Right. So we have created a table named student inside our database, right? So we can see that also in the Django admin. For that, we have to register that somewhere. So we have to register that models in admin.py. All right. So get into admin.py and we have to register the model here. So from dot models import student. Okay, it's coming. Okay. So now I go into the Django page and getting the request. You can see the core inside core app. There is a model student. So After migrating, a table is created. All right, and it consists of these three fields. Have you done this much? I'll type here the command Python domain for by create super user. This is the command. After that, you have to type all this thing yourself. That means any credential which they are asking. And after that, register it in admin.py and you can see this page. Not this one. So now our Django admin knows about student table. So I'll add my Vishwanath Aparna Geo. I created 3 students. Have you done this much? Please tell me. Okay. Okay, now we are going to fetch the data from the database. So what we have to do is we have to get into our views and I'm creating another. This is the ORM which I am talking about. Students dot objects dot all. That means we are creating, we are fetching all the students. And before that, we have to normally we will input everything here from dot model import students and create context. Student and paste student dot HTML context. Okay. So here student dot object dot all means it have to fetch all the rows. That is what means student is the name of the model which we created. Dot objects dot all means we have to fetch all the things. Okay. So now the ORM convert rows. Okay. This will get us Python object and it will be passed as a context and sent to the template. So please understand this thing. Now our ORM convert the database rows into the Python object. So now we have to create a template for display this thing. Template. I'm creating a new file called event. Steve student.html. That's interesting. So I'll do one thing. It's simple as we did it earlier. The title student list, and we are fetching the total student here, and we are listing one by one. That means for first student, it will display student name, student age, student course, etc. And like that. There is an import there. So the student name is the model field, and here empty means that means here empty means there is no student found. It have to be displayed, and so each student is one row from database. Right. So now we have to map the URL because we have to created a new view, and for each new view we have to listed it in the URL. So we'll get back to the URLs and student list. And give the students. This is not mandatory, but it's for reverse lookup actually. We'll get into that. The last thing. That means the name. So let us check. So we have created three students before using the Django admin, right? Here, those all students are displayed here. If you are creating one more student, like Akif, Python, and you refresh it here, you will get that also. So I put all those things here. This is the URL.py, and our new view state point, and our new students.html is a So please do that. So all the students from the database appear on this page, right? So this is a real web application, a small web application. So what happened here? When the browser hit a URL, it went to the view. First of all, it went to the our urls.py and it is routed to the corresponding view. In our case, student underscore list.html, right? And in that view, we have written some logic. That means we have to connect with the model and fetch that student. That means the student.object.all means it will fetch all the student rows. And in that view, we have rendered a template, and that in that template we have designed something to list the students one by one, and that is rendered back to the browser, and we can see the list of the student. That is one thing which we did now. Have you done this much? If you are not doing, I also lost interest in taking classes, right? Okay, just one duality only. Any other? Okay. So I'll give you a practice task also. Please add a field in the model, the name of email. Okay, we have, I think there is name, age, and course, right? You have to add an email also in that. While doing, please do that also. That means you have to edit the model.py. That is the only thing you have to edit. So now we are concluding the session. Do you have any doubt regarding this? You'll get a task which we have not discussed yet. Okay, it's regarding something like Django form, and a Django form is a Python class that represents HTML. Okay, it consists of validation also. Uh, some clean data regarding the data. So you have to practice those things for doing the task. As there is no time left, you have to control this. Do you have any doubt regarding this session? So you have to practice a student registration form. Of course, it also have these fields like name, age, course, email, his class, address. You can add anything you want. You know what a student need, right? Student details. So you have to create a model which which says about the student in detail, and you have to create a form. And using that form, you have to submit that form. For submitting, there are two. I yesterday discussed about two types of request, right? For get and post. For submitting something, we have to do a post request. Okay, so you have to go through that also before doing the assignment or the task which we share for you. So any doubt? Okay. What about others? All good. Okay. Then we can conclude the session. And if you have any doubt, please contact me. I'll be available. Okay. So thank you and bye.